Welcome to my new prehistoric adventure at Gobekli Tepe. Come on. I've travelled thousands of miles to bring you to the oldest man-made monumental structure in the world.
Welcome to Gobekli Tepe in eastern Turkey. You're looking at the oldest man-made structure in the world, dating back to about 10,000 BC. That makes this place 3 times older than Stonehenge itself. Since its discovery and excavation, a very modern stadium-like structure has been erected over the top of it. From what we understand, this place was built in 3 different phases. This is level 3, the oldest part. So what do you see when you first start looking at this place? Dozens of huge, upright standing hammerhead-like monoliths. And then you begin to see the engravings on the surfaces. Easily recognisable, you can see an oxen, a fox and a bird here. And going on you'll see snakes, scorpions and mythical creatures. With this particular engraving, I can't help but get the feeling that there's a kind of encapsulation going on of the hammer-like structure. Nearby, in Şanlıurfa Archaeological Museum, they've built a full reproduction of Gobekli Tepe. This is Nick and his lovely wife Sally, who very kindly brought me on this tour and have been visiting Gobekli Tepe since it was discovered over 18 years ago.
Snakes feature really strongly in the mythology of this particular culture. This is the Levantine adder, which is found all over the Mesopotamian region. But you can see them coming around from the side into the center and also going down into the ground. But interestingly, snakes still feature in the mythology and the culture of the people here today in a story about the Shakmaran, which is half a human, half snake. A bit like a mermaid and a merman, but in this instance it's about snakes. But the really interesting thing about this pillar is found on this side here. So what you've got is a group of cranes, okay? But if you look at the way their legs are articulating, they're articulating backwards, okay? And a bird's leg doesn't do this. Those are humans dressed as cranes.
Wow.
What really got me was the amount of stone that you have to remove to make this have the shape that it has. When I first saw them, I thought it was a capstone on top of an upright, but it's actually one stone. Throughout the whole enclosure, there is a large representation to male sexuality and fertility, almost to the complete exclusion of females. However, up in one of the higher elevations is what's known as the lion enclosure, and there was one depiction of a female found within here, as you can see. A very graphic depiction of a lady, wouldn't you say?
Right, Nick, you're the expert around here. Come on, let's go off and have a chat about all this. Nick, I felt I was in 2 worlds in there, one in the lap of the gods and one furnished in an ancient land below.
Yeah, I think Göbekli Tepe is certainly, the term temple has been used. I think it's probably wrong. I think it's more of a cultural and spiritual hub where people commune to have discourse with the earth, with the sky, with spirits, with death, with transition, so on. So I think it's better to say it's a spiritual heart.
But they call this the cradle of mankind.
Yeah, in a sense, I think this is a metaphorical term, really. They say that this is where agriculture was invented, but it's wrong, because agriculture is something that emerges over hundreds of generations and possibly thousands of years. What you can say, however, is the very, very first domesticated grains, cereal grains, comes from something called einkorn. And einkorn, the wild varieties of einkorn, are just over our shoulder here, about 30 miles out towards that direction, in a place called Karajadar. So it does start here, but the process of changing wild species into domesticated species is considerable. But this is where it happened. But it wasn't an invention.
Well, I've personally found that interesting and fun. I hope you did too. You've been watching Will Lord on his new prehistoric adventures. Are you ready to go on a little further, Nick?
I think we are.
Let's go.